Just enough time for one final race in the 2023 Euroformula Open Championship season. The titles have been decided, but if these drivers' contracts for 2024 are not quite sorted yet, they'll be hoping for one last big performance to help put pen to paper. This is the setting for the season finale. It's round 8 coming from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, in this 4.657-kilometre circuit. We will have 17 laps, or 30 minutes, whichever comes first. It's the third and final race of the weekend. It's the second of our reverse grid races, this one taken from the results of qualifying. But once again, it will be Jakob Bergmeister, the rookie driver, starting on reverse grid pole. This time he'll have Francesco Simonazzi starting alongside him. And this morning's race winner, Levente Ravesh, will be starting at the back of the grid. My name is Chris Stevens. Alongside me for one last time in 2023, it's my constant companion, George Morgan.
Thank you very much, Chris, and a pleasure it has been as well all season long. We have witnessed some of the best in young drivers coming through the ranks, especially here at the Euroformula Open Championship. Simonazzi starting on the front row alongside Jakob Bergmeister. Bergmeister himself be hoping for a better getaway than what he had in race 2. And a love heart as well. Makes up for the one earlier. Thank you, Francesco.
Yeah, we missed that this morning.
We did miss that. In third as well, Cian Shields, the Flying Scotsman, back again. Obviously looking to hail again yet another big performance. Finished P3 earlier on this morning, and be looking to perhaps expand on that this time around should he get a better launch this time around, but was right in the middle of a dogfight. Did manage to pull himself within the top 3 and within proximity of perhaps making a crucial overtake to perhaps even taking a P2 or P1, but it wasn't to be. Noel Leon starting P4 on this occasion. Hopefully he'll get a better getaway as well, but our champion this season of 2023, and will hopefully be doing exactly the same as what Ollie Goethe did last season and aim to get into the Formula 3 Championship. Charlie Wirtz, renewed confidence from this young man, the Austrian, looking to once again step on the top step of the podium, much like he did back at Monza in race 2. He also secured pole position back at Mugello, but it wasn't to be during the race, and it all kind of fell apart. But after what we saw certainly today and yesterday, he'll certainly be in with a great chance. Enzo Trulli starting further back as well, starting 6th place, obviously after not only securing pole, but also taking a race victory in race 1. So he has had to undergo both reverse grids in 6th place. We'll be hoping for a great launch as well. I'm sure this man will be looking for just the same. He won earlier on today, his very first win in the Euroformula Open Championship. Levente Ravesh, the Hungarian, hungry for more this time around, though. Starting from P7, it's quite the upward curve required.
Certainly is. It was very much his start and his stout defence at turn 1 that made the difference. Let's take a look back at the action so far this weekend. Confusing start to race 1 yesterday, as only 3 of the starting lights came on. Caused a bit of a kerfuffle at turn 1, but Charlie Wirtz did manage to get this sensational move in around the outside of Francesco Simonazzi. When Noel Leon tried to make the same move on Levente Ravesh, the merest contact sliced that right rear tyre off his car, and the champion of 2023 ended up in the gravel. It was Enzo Trulli on his return to the championship, taking victory just like he did in the opening round in Portimao. Bit more of a traditional start in the second race this morning, but a poor one for Jakob Bergmeister. That put Ravesh into the lead. Charlie Wirtz made his way past Cian Shields. Noel Leon with the move of the season down the inside of Francesco Simonazzi at turn 5. And Wirtz attempted to make a move on Levente Ravesh for the lead of the race, but it did not come off, and it was the Hungarian who took his first win of the season. The 18-year-old Hungarian, after moving across from the Formula Regional European Championship on the top step of the podium for the first time, this is what it has done to the championship standings. Noel Leon, our champion in waiting, on 379 points, 76 ahead of Cian Shields with Francesco Simonazzi. And Charlie Wirtz could still usurp Jakob Bergmeister in this race. He's only 2 points behind the man in 6th place in the standings. And he will also be doing so from 5th on the grid. Charlie Wirtz there, the Austrian. Race 3 about to get underway then. The final race of the season for the Euroformula Open Championship. It's Jakob Bergmeister once again on reverse grid pole with BVM Racing's Francesco Simonazzi alongside him. Cian Shields, he's had 2 third places so far this weekend. He starts from 3rd alongside Noel Leon, our 2023 champion. Then it's Charlie Wirtz. He's finished 2nd twice this weekend. Enzo Trulli with a win to his name yesterday. Levente Revesh, this morning's race winner. They line up at the back of the grid. Noel Leon with his second best starting position. He qualified 3rd, didn't he? And so he lines up 4th for this one. But found out today he has been feeling very under the weather indeed this weekend, and maybe that's why we haven't quite seen the same level of performance that we're used to from this young Mexican, who surely is on the brink of an FIA F3 promotion for next season, as indeed are a number of the drivers, having tested here and in Jerez for next season. Josh Dufek, Charlie Wirtz and Cian Shields all taking part in post-season testing for FIA F3. And Bryce Aaron, of course, not with us this weekend. The American returning home to go and race in Indy NXT with Andretti next year. Soon we will have the formation lap underway as the engine notes rise. Bit of a slow getaway for Jakob Bergmeister, and hopefully that is not a sign of things to come on the actual race start.
No, you certainly won't want another one of those. Obviously suffered that earlier on this morning when we got underway for race 2. Of course, if Noel Leon doesn't win this race, it will mean that it's once again only the second round this season where he won't score a victory throughout a Euroformula weekend. Of course, last time at Paul Ricard that happened. Of course, he got a DNF in race 1 after coming together with Francesco Simonazzi. Race 2, he finished in 7th place, but then masterminded a P2 performance in race 3 with the most overtakes of the race. And here is the driver's standings. As you can see, provisional at this stage. Obviously, we're still going to get through this race. 379 points with Cian Shields on 303. Francesco Simonazzi 3rd in the championship standings, 274 to his name. The Italian stallion looking to try and maybe marshal in a great performance too, because on the front row of the grid, great chance for the BVM Racing team to notch together another W on the board, and it would be for the first time since all the way back at the Algarve that he'll be able to do that. Race 2 was the last time back at Portimao that Francesco Simonazzi was able to notch a win together. Since then has scored various podiums, did so at Portimao afterwards in race 3, returned to the podium at Spa-Francorchamps, taking race 2 in P3, and race 3 finishing 2nd. Since then, of course, finishing 3rd at Paul Ricard with most overtakes, 2nd at Red Bull Ring in race 2, and then in race 1 at Mugello, he would score a 2nd place once again. But this time around, different complexion, front row of the grid. Great chance as well, if you can get a better launch than Jakob Bergmeister, then it will put him in a great position to perhaps bring this one home. But of course, there are plenty of contenders behind. Cian Shields, the Flying Scotsman, who knows exactly how to win. He has put together certainly a stellar run so far this season and has been unfortunate in his own right, but has a chance here to bow out on a high.
Cian Shields, of course, been pretty quick off the mark in most of the races so far this season, so let's see what he can do from 3rd. It is a 613-metre run from pole position all the way down to the braking zone of turn 1, so getting off the line absolutely crucial. We saw what that meant for Jakob Bergmeister, we're looking at now, can always spot him with the blue helmet on that number 26 car. He got a pretty poor getaway this morning and ended up 7th and last by the end of the first lap, and the 4th generation superstar will be hoping for a little bit of a better start. It'll be the white and yellow BVM racing car starting alongside him, and then Cian Shields, you can always spot him with the bright yellow helmet on number 73. Enzo Trulli has got those white wingtips on his car in car number 15 that starts 6th on the grid, but we have the green flag waved at the back, and we're about to get underway for the final race of the Euroformula Open Championship in 2023. Much better start for Jakob Bergmeister this time. Simonazzi falls right into the slipstream. Cian Shields having to absorb a bit of pressure from Noel Leon. At Simonazzi to the outside of the first corner, and the BVM Racing driver breaks very deep round the outside and takes the lead in the opening stages. Noel Leon has got himself up into 3rd place already, and I think that was Enzo Trulli finding his way past Cian Shields as well.
Slightly better start for Jakob Bergmeister, though still losing out the lead to Simonazzi now. He's going to look to try and build a gap with Bergmeister in behind, defending against the likes of Noel Leon and Enzo Trulli, who's now up to 4th already. He's jumped up 2 places. Cian Shields now down to 5th, with Charlie Wirtz registering in 6th, looking for every which way round, this time on Cian Shields. They make their way around Seat corner. There is Wirtz, immediately dodging to the left, trying to defend, but at the same time, launch an attack, heading through towards Wirtz curve. Splendid move around Cian Shields from Charlie Wirtz, but very risky on exit.
Yeah, had to gather it up, and Shields has a little look up the inside towards turn 9, but no way for the Scotsman to go through, so Wirtz just about survived that big tail happy moment coming out of turn 8, and Shields still under big pressure now from Levente Revesh. This is very unlike Cian Shields. We normally see him going forwards on the opening lap, not backwards as he has done in this race so far. Now, line astern at the moment, Noel Leon and Enzo Trulli. Remember Portimao? They had some proper ding-dong battles back in the opening round of the season, but they have got Jakob Bergmeister to deal with in front of them. So at the end of the first lap, the Italian Francesco Simonazzi for BVM Racing leads by 1 full second over the rookie Jakob Bergmeister, who has 0.4 of a second over our 2023 champion Noel Leon, who also has 0.4 of a second over Enzo Trulli. Charlie Wirtz is 5th, Cian Shields 6th, Levente Revesh in 7th.
Yeah, this is looking fantastic for Jakob Bergmeister. He's doing very well, marshalling off the attack here from Noel Leon, and the pace looks like it stepped up a little bit for the youngster. Of course, the only driver here representing in the rookie classification, and obviously looking to try and put steps in place to become an overall champion driver next season. Of course, that's what he's looking to do. Obviously won't carry the rookie tag next season should he stay, and wants to try and put in some good steps in place in order to put in a good advert for a potential run as well in next season's championship. He has got Noel Leon right behind him, as well as Enzo Trulli, who's getting closer and closer to the back of Noel Leon, so we could yet see more antics like we saw at the Algarve. Bergmeister doing a great job. 1 second now is the only gap between him and Francesco Simonazzi, so Simonazzi not breaking away as much as you'd expect, heading down in towards the Kea Bend now at turn 10. And they'll make their way around, trying to hit the apex on the inside. Be careful not to take too much curve, though, as it can unsettle the car as they take the hill up through Bank Sambadel.
And when we talk about Bergmeister being a rookie, we don't just mean that in terms of this season or even F3 level machinery. He is a rookie in single-seaters. This is his first season in single-seater racing. He was doing F4 UAE at the start of the year, moving straight up to the Euroformula Open Championship. Big leap for this young German driver, and he's doing an incredible job at the moment. And
purple second sector.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw, even though he had the terrible start in this morning's race, once the race actually got underway, his pace was matching everyone else in the field. So he has got the speed to compete with these guys, and now that he's got a better start, maybe he can fight for second still. But he's got to absorb the pressure of our 2023 champion first.
Yeah, it's very much a confidence battle as well. Once again, flashing in the mirrors, Noel Leon, as he so often likes to do, obviously on the predatory attack, as he always is. That of course, has brought him to the dance and garnered him a championship crown here in the Euroformula Open, as we now watch car number 19 belonging to that of Noel Leon, the magnificent Mexican who has brought together certainly a hellacious season. Credentials as well. As we said, we went through his list of victories. He gets the tail out, though, heading out of Firth Curve. So Bergmeister coping with that section a little better as they head through turn 9. There's Charlie Wirtz. He himself knows all about confidence. He has essentially rebuilt himself after a very tricky time in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. In comes Noel Leon now. He's fed up of waiting and is now looking to challenge Jakob Bergmeister, who perhaps goes a little wide, heading through turn 10 and 11, now through turn 12. Did well, though, to hold on to the place despite the surprise attack from Noel Leon.
Noel Leon put in the move of the season in this morning's race on Francesco Simonazzi. Wants to repeat that feed by the looks of it, but couldn't quite get up the inside of turn 10 as they complete lap 3. Across the line now, Simonazzi's advantage steady. It's about 1.1 seconds now, and Bergmeister still soaking up the pressure like a sponge from the young Mexican Noel Leon, who has another look up the inside, trying to distract Jakob Bergmeister there, but unsuccessful in doing so. And this train of 3 cars, Enzo Trulli waiting patiently in the wings. Trulli, although we haven't seen him since the opening round of the season in Portimao, he has been off in Japan racing in Super Formula Light, which used the same Dallara 320 chassis as this Euroformula Open series. Different engine, of course, the Toyota engine used in the Japanese series. It's mostly Spies-powered cars in this championship, but nonetheless, he knows the car extremely well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen rookies come in and do great things in the past. We saw it from Vladislav Lomko last season, who took the rookie title and also went on to win numerous races, even in challenging and really presenting a real bit of a hassle for Oliver Goethe as we take a little look at the rear. Stepping out here for Francesco Simonazzi, as he so often does, and now out in front, home and hose. He only has the clear air in front of him here, and looks good value for it. Bergmeister doing a stunning job of holding back the tirade. Of course, we see many drivers go on to do great things. Speaking of Vlad Lomko, now racing at Cool Racing in Le Mans prototypes, and doing a really steady job there as well, representing their team exceedingly well. Running a little wide there, Noel Leone, incidentally, so that will allow a little bit of breathing space there for Jakob Bergmeister, though I'm sure he'll be clawed back heading down this very, very long straight, one of the longest straights we'll see in this calendar. Is now once again, this time it's Enzo Trulli on the attack, has a look down the inside, this time Noel Leone going defensive very, very late as he makes his way through turn 2. Might have compromised though his exit heading through the first sector, as now they make their way around. Charlie Burt also spying a potential opportunity. We've seen some ding-dong praise with him involved as well this season, and obviously off the back of Monza definitely has that renewed confidence. Once again switching all over the back, Enzo Trulli looking every which way to perhaps try and garner himself an improved performance. Remember, he said in an interview he was looking for 3 race wins this weekend. 2 is possible, but he needs to get to work. We've only got 13 laps left.
Well, Charlie Wurtz putting his foot to the floor, setting the fastest lap of the race and arriving on the scene of this battle for second place, although Noel Leone with that defence at turn 1, dropping off the back of Bergmeister here, who is on course for an overall podium finish here. He's pulled the gap out to 0.8 of a second over Noel Leone, falling back a little bit from Simonazzi at 1.4 seconds, but Bergmeister still well in the best position he has been in all season long. I'm trying to think, he has had a second place finish at the the first race at Paul Ricard. That is his best finish of the season. Of course, remember that's when Simonazzi and Noel Leone took each other out, fighting for the lead of the race. This one might mean a little bit more to Bergmeister if he can hang on to it. 12 laps to go, and Noel Leone's coming under big pressure here from Enzo Trulli. Again, defensive into the first corner, but a switch from Trulli on the inside. Now this is where Noel Leone came unstuck in race 1, and I think there might have just been a little tag with Trulli's front wing, but this time he got away with it and got over the escape road. Charlie Wurtz fancies getting in on the action as well. He's tucked right up behind the rear wing of that number 15 car, jinxed towards the inside, but no way through at turn 4.
Might have been a little late, might have been a little overzealous, but Enzo Trulli asking the big questions, needs to as well if he wants to elevate his position here. And Noel Leone doing well to hold on to the car and not lose too much. Here's the moment again. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, a very quick move to the inside. Oh, wow.
There was definitely a touch. I think it was tyre face to tyre face, actually.
We'll see it now. So they made their way through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah,
rear right to front left between Noel Leone and Enzo Trulli. Noel Leone had taken to the escape road, did well to recover the car, and just goes to show how much he has really grown behind the wheel of this Dallara 320.
A shout out to the cameraman at turn 2. That was perfect slow-mo shot there, giving us that beautiful angle of that merest little bit to contact. And yeah, like you say, Noel Leone doing well to gather the car up. When you get tyre face to tyre face contact, you do run the risk of launching the car in the air, which of course we never want to see. But Enzo Trulli very quickly on the back of Noel Leone once again. This is giving Jakob Bergmeister an awful lot of breathing space, because he's now 1.5 seconds clear of this squabble for the last spot on the podium, which is currently being disputed by Noel Leone and Enzo Trulli. Leone going much more defensive this time around and squeezing it back over to the outside. Trulli deciding that discretion is the better part of valor.
Yeah, fisticuffs now out in between these two. Of course, they dazzled us, as we said, back at the Algarve. They're starting to do the same here as well at Barcelona. The blockbuster now beginning to come into fray. Charlie Wurtz as well, watching all this unfold, must be waiting. He said, yeah, go on, have a go at each other. Give myself a chance to potentially open the door, as they make their way through Repsol. And there you see Simonazzi cutting through Seat in behind. Jakob Bergmeister definitely has some breathing space now. 1.6 seconds between them, as we now see the coming together once again, heading through turns 1 and 2. This time around on the alternative lap, this lap around this time. And Noel Leone did well to cover it off, and obviously just making sure that Enzo wouldn't try anything quite like that this time around.
Quite, so status quo being maintained once again. Very low sun beginning to set here. It is just approaching 20 to 6 local time. And of course, we are in late October now, so it gets dark a lot later, a lot sooner, sorry, than it has done in recent weeks. The sun is shining on Francesco Simonazzi at the moment, 1.6 seconds clear of Bergmeister in second place, who in turn is 1.6 clear of this fight for third place. Enzo Trulli not quite as close this time to the back of the Mexican. It's actually Charlie Wirtz who is looking more the aggressor in that gold and green car that we saw that livery an awful lot in the Formula Regional European Championship earlier in the season. He moved across midway through the year to get some experience in the Dallara chassis, and a warning has gone out to Noel Leone for not respecting the event notes at turn 1. That'll be because he went onto the escape road and didn't take the predetermined route marked by those white lines.
Yeah, absolutely right indeed. As you can see from that escape road at turn 1, there are lines that are pre-built in with a grey part of the track that the car is supposed to take, and it leads straight back out onto the circuit as well. And it's been a constant theme this weekend, obviously, in all the GT Sport organisation events, including that of the International GT Open and that of the GT Cup Open as well. Charlie Wirtz just getting the underbody of the car nice and tight to that curb on the exit, and that causing any disruption to the balance. Doing very well, taking it up through towards Kamsa corner at turn 9. Turn 10 again. Bergmeister once again doing a great job, but has advanced that another 2/10 as well. 1.8 now. Jakob Bergmeister ahead of Noel Leone. And, or should I say 1.1, should I say at this stage? Should I say it's 1.8 between Simonazzi and Bergmeister at this point. Purple second sector for Noel Leone as he looks to recompose himself after the fights that he has had with Enzo Trulli. Trulli mustering in a purple first sector, so they're battling each other tit for tat as they make their way through towards the final 9 laps of the race. Still in front, Simonazzi by a very, very comprehensive margin, 1.7. All he has to do is manage the tyres. Bergmeister doing the same with obviously Noel Leone in behind, still maintains the 1.1 second gap. Fastest lap for Noel Leone as he looks to try and close it up here. And you can just see 1:32.964 being that time, and all in all, that's nearly 4/10. In fact, it's 3/10 faster than Jakob Bergmeister.
Yeah, so now that Noel Leone's not having to defend into the first corner, he's actually able to get his foot down and show the pace that he's got, and is fastest first man to dip into the 1:32s in this race. We're only just approaching half race distance now, so Noel Leone started to gather himself up a little bit, and remember, was told after race 2 this morning that he is not well at all this weekend, but persevering on in the face of adversity and continuing to push and still showing off his skill. Still one of few drivers still taking the last corner flat out every lap in race conditions. Not quite sure that's been the case in this particular race, as we've got a good look here at Enzo Trulli chasing Noel Leone. Beautiful little slow-mo there, and you see the delicate precision with which the young Italian turns that Dallara 320. Race lead is just come down a little bit, actually. It's now 1.6 seconds to Jakob Bergmeister. And I was told that Bergmeister in this morning's race was running on old tyres, as was Enzo Trulli. Both of them should be on a fresh set for this race. They kind of run one fresh set short to have new ones for all of quali and all 3 races as well. So at some point they do have to run a scrubbed set. And that can make the difference, particularly on a circuit like this where the deg has been so high, because of corners like this where it's so long and fast as well. And turn 4 as well, turn 10. And of course we are racing on the new old layout of Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, where it's the old version of the final sector with the 2 super high-speed right-handers to round out the lap, as opposed to last year when we were still using the chicane. In fact, I think GT Sport testing, which included the Euroformula Open Championship, were one of the very first events to run on that new layout earlier this year. I think that was back in March, after it just got re-homologated And great to see the circuit making those improvements. The new Tech Pro barriers being put in there, part of the safety improvements that have helped us return to that layout, and I think it's been a renowned success, everyone agreeing. Looks much better for qualifying, and has even improved the racing somewhat as well.
Yeah, it's definitely delivered in terms of a race extent, because we've seen some fantastic moves, and of course we mentioned the one from Nolione earlier on against Simonazzi. Simonazzi looking to bring home a win, as we said, for the first time since the Algarve round in our opening race, or should we say opening weekend of the Euroformula Open Championship. Down the straight they go once again. Nolione now 7/10 of a second away from Jakob Bergmeister. Charlie Wirtz now on the attack here this time against Enzo Trulli. The bronze and green, the gold and green coming together around the outside through turn 1 now as he looks to give chase. Oh, has had to take to the escape road. He definitely took the escape road that time, and obviously whether you'll have to give that back now to Enzo Trulli, I think he will have to. I think at this stage, I think he has actually let it go. Or has he? No, he hasn't. He's still got to give the place back.
Now.
He is now heading through Repsol Curve. Don't touch, heading through this segment. Charlie Wirtz now needs to try and put his head back down. I don't think Enzo Trulli would have appreciated that, to be honest.
Oh, and a late dive to the inside there, but couldn't quite do what Nolione did this morning. I think Charlie Wirtz was trying to emulate the move he put on Simonazzi in race number 1. But Trulli ended up running out a little bit wide there, so here it is again. Wirtz on the outside line, and I think for the second time in this race, Trulli's had just the slightest little touch there with the car on the outside through the first couple of corners. And those cars are starting to lose touch now with Bergmeister and Nolione. They're now 2 seconds back as a result of that squabbling. So that has massively taken the pressure off Nolione, who can now set his sights on Bergmeister for second place, where Charlie Wirtz last time around did the fastest lap of the race, though the benchmarks were 32.847 in his pursuit of Enzo Trulli for 4th place. That lead gap is still coming down very gradually. Oh, that was a big moment there for Levente Revesh by the looks of it, coming out of the final corner, just dipping a wheel into the gravel. Charlie Wirtz once again closing into the first corner, but not close enough to challenge Enzo Trulli into turn 1 on this occasion. But yeah, the lead gap coming down slowly but surely. Jakob Bergmeister last time around was 4/10 quicker than race leader Francesco Simonazzi. The gap now 1.2, well, it was 1.2 at the start of the lap, but Simonazzi has returned the serve somewhat in the first sector.
Yeah, we're taking you back in time, folks. A battle between Trulli and Wirtz here this time around at Barcelona as they make their way through Seat Corner, and Enzo Trulli doing enough just to hold on to the delta in between himself and the Austrian. Little puff there, heading out to the back of Charlie Wirtz's car as they climb up the Wirth Curve section. Quite a slalom as well, and making their way through Kamsa.
I'm trying to rack my brain. I might be too young for this, but trying to remember any Alexander Wirtz and Jarno Trulli battles in Formula 1.
Oh, I'm sure there's been many.
If there was, but now they get to watch their boys battle it out on track as well. That's fantastic. And both here, of course, this weekend as well. They're not the only drivers that come from a long line of racing family. Bergmeister alluded to it at the top of the show, 4th generation start. His father, a racing driver, and his grandfather as well. His uncle Jorg, a Porsche works driver for many, many years as well. This is Trulli and Wirtz squabbling over that 4th place spot. Fantastic slow-mo shots once again. Just 5 laps to go. Little squeal of the tyres there for Jakob Bergmeister by the sounds of it, but he is hanging on very nicely to this 2nd place and matching the pace of Nolione, who remains a second behind and took another 10th out of our race leader, Francesco Simonazzi, last time round, the gap 1.1. If you can put Simonazzi under pressure, maybe in the closing stage of this race, Jakob Bergmeister can start to fight for the win. And this is just, it's so night and day to where we saw Bergmeister at the start of the season. He's come on leaps and bounds. As you can see, the progression of Nolione chasing Bergmeister, but Bergmeister starting to match the pace of the cars around him. But Bergmeister's come on such a long way since the start of the season, as you'd expect for somebody whose only prior experience in single-seater racing before the start of the Euroformula Open Championship back in April was doing F4 UAE during the winter.
Yeah, absolutely right indeed, and obviously would only have been seen in karting prior to that as well, but Bergmeister doing a great job and has already managed to launch the Delta out to 1.1, which is certainly a splendid effort from him, certainly considering the fact that the gap was only 8 tenths not too long ago. Simonazzi taking the final 2 corners here around New Holland now once again, and they'll have 4 laps remaining as they cross the start-finish line, and the Italian stallion will take them down through towards turn 1. And Bergmeister giving chase. There's Norleone, who's looking to try and rein in that Delta. Once again, touching that 0.8 of a second mark, this time between Bergmeister and Simonazzi. So we're starting to get close now between the top 2. Whether Simonazzi trying to cool the tyres, perhaps, because obviously it's quite intense on the left side in terms of the tyres, because the way the bends are obviously constructed, we have far more right-hand corners than we do left, therefore pushing the car to the outside of the actual chassis itself, putting more pressure on the left-hand side of the car. So there is some great care required from some of the drivers when they're driving these Dallara 320 chassis around a circuit such as this, because it can perish that rubber. But naturally, obviously, with those that have got new tyres coming into this race, it gives them a great chance to certainly use and abuse them. And that's certainly a great opportunity here for Jakob Bergmeister to do just that. 8 tenths away from Simonazzi, and he might even close a little more.
So for the first time in this race, the lead gap is under 1 second, 8 tenths as they started the lap. And Jakob Bergmeister does seem to be closing the race leader down. Let's see what it is when they get to the second timing split. It's now down to 7 tenths of a second. And this battle for 4th place still not over yet as well. Charlie Vert still with the fastest lap of the race, looking at the back of Enzo Trulli's car, but not being able to mount a challenge just yet, since he had that run on him a couple of laps ago where the Austrian had to take to the escape road. Trulli nudging wheels with a couple of cars, first with Norleone and then Charlie Verts a few laps ago. 3 laps left, and the gap is now 6 tenths of a second between Bergmeister and Simonazzi, and Norleone is closing them down as well. He's coming with Bergmeister. He's less than a second behind Bergmeister as well. 1.6 seconds covers the top 3 with 3 laps to go.
What an occasion it would be if Bergmeister could deliver a first race win of the season overall. I mean, essentially, we had Levente Ravesh do exactly that earlier this weekend, obviously this morning, and managing to cultivate his first win of the championship. Could Bergmeister do the same? Can he land pressure upon Francesco Simonazzi? He's bringing the Delta in, he's got the Lasso out, and he's pulling away. 5 tenths of a second now away from Simonazzi. That's closed in by 3 tenths since the start of the lap. It did come down to 6. It's now progressively dropped down to 5. Will it reach 4 as they make their way around Kamsa? Bergmeister looking like a different beast. And there you go. That's the Delta. Bergmeister reeling him in lap by lap since lap 11, of course. We saw that Delta earlier on between laps 11 and 12. He's continued that trend right through towards 13 and 14. The question is, can he carry it through for the remaining 2 laps or so?
I think it is a confidence thing, George, isn't it? You were talking about it, and Jakob's never been the most lively of characters. He rather keeps himself to himself in the paddock, and never boasts, never gloats anytime he has a good race. You'd be hard pressed to actually get a smile out of it.
Oh, you'll get a reaction off this one.
I think this would be the occasion. So the gap now under 6 tenths of a second with 2 laps remaining, and the overall gap between the top 3 closing down. It's now 1.4 seconds that covers the top 3 as the battle for 4th place resumes. Enzo Trulli going defensive against Charlie Verts into the first corner. Still the Italian is holding off his teammates for now as they wind their way around turn 3 for the penultimate time. And Jakob Bergmeister is fully arriving on the scene now. Francesco Simonazzi hasn't won a race since the opening round of the season, all the way back in Portimao. He won the 2nd race of the weekend there. Jakob Bergmeister has only stood on the podium 2 times this season. He is yet to win a race. This would be a breakthrough, sensational victory for the young German. And considering that he wants to come back next year and put together a full campaign, this would certainly be a big result for Bergmeister going into next year, and would line him up very nicely as one of the favourites for the title assault already. But let's see what happens first, because we've still got a lap to run here, and the gap just starting to open out a little bit. Seems like Simonazzi's just got the advantage in the middle sector as he manages to pull another couple of tenths of margin over Bergmeister. Still Wirtz is looking for a way through on Trulli here. 1 lap remains in the 2023 Euroformula Open Championship, and we have 2 battles, one for the lead and one for 4th place. Jakob Bergmeister is 6 tenths behind the Italian Francesco Simonazzi as we head into turn 1 for the final time.
Yeah, we certainly do. Simonazzi now taking them through the first sector. The final lap now well and truly underway. Bergmeister only 6 tenths away, tries to reel it in. Remember, he was 4 tenths previously, lost a couple of tenths in the last sector on the previous penultimate lap. But look at this, half a second now is all that separates them. He's still reeling in Simonazzi. The Italian coming under pressure, the German looking to bring his best to the forefront, and this certainly would be a seasonal best. It certainly has been the best we've seen from Bergmeister this season, and certainly as a rookie, giving himself a great account leading into what could be a full-time drive next season when we see him back potentially in the Euroformula Open Championship, next season being 2024. Nolio now looking to give chase as well, 7 tenths away, and obviously Bergmeister's got to worry about a war on 2 fronts here, because not only has he got Simonazzi ahead, but Leon in behind too.
Only one braking zone left in this race. I think Francesco Simonazzi's got it covered. We're talking turns 13 and 14 here to try and do something about the Italian up front, and it does look like it's going to be BVM Racing for the 2nd time this season that will be taking the victory. Francesco Simonazzi through the final corner now, and for the first time since the opening round in Portimao, Francesco Simonazzi and BVM Racing are victorious. Jakob Bergmeister, his best race in his rookie season of the Euroformula Open Championship, a sensational 2nd place, and our champion Noel Leon rounds out his title-winning campaign with a 3rd place finish. Those are the celebrations of the BVM Racing team back on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, Francesco Simonazzi is absolutely delighted. For the first time since Portimao in round 1, he is a race winner, and only for the 2nd time this season, and for the 3rd time in his Euroformula Open career. A smashing effort, certainly gave it his all, and certainly the start benefiting off the back of a slow getaway. Take us through the results, Chris.
It's Francesco Simonazzi for the 2nd time this season with the victory. Jakob Bergmeister, his best finish in the Euroformula Open Championship. 2nd place with our 2023 champion Noel Leon in 3rd. Enzo Trulli did repel the advances of Charlie Wirtz there for 4th place, with Kian Shields and Levente Revesh completing the order. Here's a final look at the standings. Noel Leon ends the season on 394 points, 87 clear of Kian Shields. Simonazzi in 3rd, 105 back. Bryce Aaron holds on to 4th, with Jakob Bergmeister ahead of Charlie Wirtz for 5th place. Josh Dufek not racing here this weekend, so he's fallen down to 7th place. Levente Revesh ends the season in 9th, with Enzo Trulli inside the top 10, having contested 2 rounds of the championship. And I can't wait to see the smile on Francesco Simonazzi's face. He's a pretty happy and excitable chap at the best of times. He reflects that in his driving, and I think these are going to be big celebrations here as he rounds out the season in style.
Yeah, held in high esteem by team boss Giuseppe Mazzotti, and is certainly contended here in the Euroformula Open Championship now. This is his 3rd consecutive season, of course, getting himself underway back in 2021, where he was in the midst of his rookie campaign, and he's giving the spectators here at Barcelona a good wave, and he'll also wave the marshals as well that will congratulate him too. And what a way to sign off this season's championship as well. Obviously now Noel Leon, I give him credit too, champion this season, and he'll get to sign off this season on the podium, which I'm sure he'd be pleased about. And I can't wait to see Jakob Bergmeister's big smile and grin, because that was a stellar performance by the young rookie.
Overall, very happy podium, considering Noel Leon's health this weekend has not been the best. Jakob Bergmeister, that's going to be
that'll mean a lot.
That's a happy Jakob right there.
Yeah.
Once he takes the helmet off, we'll see. Well, we can see the smile from under the helmet, really, can't we? Simonazzi's been taking his time.
Get
on
ready
this
for this,
lap.
folks.
He's been taking his time. He wants to enjoy it. And let's see the result. Cameraman in position to get the shot from behind, which I'm sure is going to be pretty iconic.
Stefan doing the business there in the back as well. Now watch this. Celebration,
yes.
Simonazzi. 2nd time a race winner this season. third-time a race winner overall in the Euroformula Open. Massive congratulations. He is going to be absolutely thrilled.
Take a bow, sir.
That one's for BVM, he says. And a smashing result, and I'm sure he'll enjoy his time on the podium. There we have it. Tremendous job, Francesco. And credit as well to Nolione. There is your third podium place, of course, third for Nolione this time around, but we'll celebrate being champion on the podium too. And Simonazzi, who of course did compete in a F3 test, obviously competed in racing as well. Hopefully he'll get his chance at a drive very, very soon. He's also quite the, big fan of Alfredo giving him a big hug too. But he's also very into his education as well, which is great, and is looking to take part in university in the months to come.
Is at Oxford?
He is.
Is he not?
Very intelligent young man.
Yes, and it's astonishing when you hear his the new English accent that he's developed while he's been learning English.
He's better than us, Chris.
It actually sounds like he's from South London. It's unbelievable sometimes. He's got all the colloquialisms down to a T. So even a bit of Cockney rhyming slang, I'm sure he's picking up as well, the young Italian. It's fantastic stuff. So, final podium of the season. It is Nolione, our 2023 champion, rounding out his title-winning campaign for Team Motorpark with a third-place finish. Jakob Bergmeister, easily his best race in his rookie season of the Euroformula Open Championship. Second place for the young German. For the second time this season, for the first time since the opening round, all the way back in Portimao in April, it's Francesco Simonazzi for BVM Racing. I think we can hear from him now with Alfredo.
Francesco Simonazzi, and he is the man who takes the last win of the season in the Euroformula. It was about time. Huh?
Yes, I mean, my first win of the season at the start, and then the last win at the end of the season. So I basically started and concluded the season with wins. It was a very suffered one. I mean, I had to do a lot of work to keep me behind Bergmeister. He was catching me quite quickly at the end. And I basically didn't realize that it was the last lap. I was enjoying myself driving, and then all of a sudden I see the checkered flag coming off. I was screaming like I was, that's a big cry, because this win is majestic, it's fantastic. Never tasted a more beautiful win.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was hard fought.
Good, well done. It's a good way to finish the season, and on the final podium as well, so you must be happy.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I'm not just happy, extremely happy.
Good, well done. Enjoy the podium now.
Thank you.
You can hear the effort. An awful lot of effort put in by Francesco Simonazzi there, and this was the crucial moment as we look back at highlights of the race. A good start for Jakob Bergmeister from reverse grid pole, but Francesco Simonazzi hoovering up that slipstream on the run down towards turn one. Big outbraking maneuver on the outside line and swooped into the lead, and he never looked back. As Nolione made his way up into third place pretty quickly, and Enzo Trulli followed him through as well. Kian Shields drops back quite quickly in the early stages of the race as Charlie Wirtz looked to make his way past as well. It's a very close call at turn 5, but the Austrian managed to get the nice drive out of that left-hander and then down towards the downhill braking zone at turn 7. The Austrian moved his way through, despite a little wiggle there on the exit of the corner. Kian Shields looked back at the Austrian, but there was no way through for him on that occasion. We saw a good fight brewing. Enzo Trulli tried to make a move on Nolione down into turn 1. The slightest bit of contact between their tyres was made, and Nolione had to take to the escape road. And in the end, it was Trulli and Wirtz who ended up squabbling for that 4th place spot, as Francesco Simonazzi built a very nice lead indeed. Trulli and Wirtz, their fathers would be very proud of their battle. It did come to blows at one stage. But for Francesco Simonazzi, it was victory for the 3rd time in the Euroformula Open, the 2nd time this season, and for the 1st time since the opening round in Portimao. And big celebrations for the Italian and BVM Racing as he concludes the season on a high. A hop, skip and a jump from the car, and you could hear the effort that Simonazzi was putting in there. It was just to it felt like you were in the car with him during that battle.
Yeah, I can remember back to Red Bull Ring last season and watching everything unfold in Parc Ferme, and he was a very emotional young man, especially when the Italian national anthem played out for him. He will, of course, hear it again this time, and a big moment for Jakob Bergmeister. I'm sure this will be one that he will treasure greatly and could be the difference maker into what he turns out like next season. But nevertheless, BVM, they will be thrilled. As I said, Giuseppe Mazzotti runs a real tight outfit who do well in both F4 and Euroformula competition. And now we'll hear the Italian national anthem.
Francesco Simonazzi, hand on heart, passionately Italian. And Jesus will hand out the third place trophy to Noel Leon. It'll be a nice, efficient podium proceedings, because Jakob can get his rookie and second place trophy in one go there. But for Noel Leon, title-winning campaign rounded out with a podium finish, given his health this weekend as well. He's not been feeling well at all. I'll spare you the details. But a podium finish in this race, thoroughly well deserved. And this young man, it looks like he's going to be in FIA F3 next season, along potentially with Josh Dufek, Charlie Verts and Cian Shields as well. So keep your eye out on them as well, because they're going to be joining the likes of Ollie Goetzer and Christian Mansell. Francesco Simonazzi lifts the race-winning trophy. It's a big day for Simonazzi, and BVM Racing collecting the team's trophy on the left-hand side there as well. Big day for that team. Simonazzi, such an integral part of that team, spearheaded their return into the Euroformula Open Championship at the end of 2021. First season for the first race win for them last season, and two more been added this year. And yep, Jakob Bergmeister picking up 2 trophies there for the rookie class, and second place overall as well. So we'll pose for the team photo, last one of the season, and we look forward to getting the Euroformula Open Championship of 2024 getting underway as well. And who knows what that season will have in store for us. For now, it is congratulations to Noel Leon, our 2023 champion, and to Francesco Simonazzi, our final race winner of the season. We'll see you in 2024.